Thank you very much. I'm here with Dan Fernandes. I've only met Dan recently, and it's been such a privilege to spend time with him. He's incredibly insightful. He has the gift of being able to see things and to make decisions that really help and improve his sort of life and his contribution to things around him, but also the people that he works with and people that he treats. So, Dan, we're just going to ask you a few questions about you a little bit, and then your sort of current services, and then also what you do to be as effective and as productive as you are. So, Dan, thank you for making the time for this.
Well, thank you for having me in the first place. It's a privilege to be part of what you're trying to do and accomplish. So I'm very grateful. Thank you. A bit of my story becomes just because of me being a patient as well. I found that I had an accident on my shoulder. Right. I went to see an osteopath the first time, and it was just a miracle, basically, the way they just treated. So it kind of changed my life 360, completely out of it expected. And I just decided I needed to give up my career and become an osteopath because I wanted to help people gain health. And that was basically the biggest journey of my life.
No, that's amazing. I mean, to have that appreciation and then to have this big transformational sort of change in career, and because you're doing IT before and so on, which is obviously different, and this is very much people based, and it's very organic rather than sort of algorithms and so on. So how has your journey been then? How have you found this transition? Has it been what you expected?
Yeah, it's actually been more than I expected. I started by qualifying, and as soon as I qualified, I felt you never know enough. So I started actually being assistant at the school that I qualified from, and within 2 years, they offered me a place to work there. So then they even gave me the opportunity to do a postgraduate in clinical education, and I teach osteopathy as we speak as well. So I've gone from student, and I'm still learning. I learn with my students every single day. And I learn from my patients. I think learning is part of life. Growing to become more wiser and have better choices and better options, and to get your life forwards in a better way.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I mean, I resonate with your sort of learning from your patients. I look at each of my consultation as somebody who's there to coach me, and they're always teaching you something, their work, something else, or an appreciation or whatever. And in fact, we did a book on this, looking to get feedback from patients and use that to improve services, health services, and so on. So no, that's something that I definitely resonate with. So in terms of just your day and what you do, so the title of this podcast is You Optimize Towards Excellence. So that idea of we're always work in progress, and we're working towards being a little bit more effective, a little bit more productive, a little bit more playful, and trialing new ways of sort of doing things or managing our time and our thinking. What sort of things do you do or you've done that you find helpful, and that helps you, just have that sort of state of being able to, which you already demonstrated, that you can perceive things somebody else would have overlooked and then take action over time?
I think my main job as an osteopath is not just to fix the problem, but actually realize where is the patient going wrong, because we can fix things, but then it's trying to figure out what are they doing on a daily basis. Give them the awareness that sitting down and doing the movement always to the same place because they've got the scanner on the left, or always having the phone on the right, those little things, even just sitting down on the TV, always in the same posture, it would aggravate the tissue. So there's a lack of mobility, which then increases inflammation and stagnation of tissues. And then that's when they get the stiffness. So I try to make them aware that they have to exercise, even walking, drinking water, look at their nutrition outside of my own practice, so that they have the 50% of the responsibility and not just leave it all on myself.
No, that's very good, because you're bringing agency to them. You're getting them to have an appreciation of all that they can do to impact themselves.
Yeah, they help themselves.
No, that's
just because
really
like
valuable.
that, they'll just spend less money. And for me, I just wanted to get them out and better as soon as possible. So then they're dependent on their own knowledge and ways of doing things. and they are not always required to come and see me.
Yeah, no, I think that's because you're really doing your utmost to serve their needs and in the most efficient, time and resource efficient way. And as a result of that, people, appreciate that. And, you have a very full referral list. So just in terms of Dan, just in terms of you, what sort of things are you doing in your day or you've done in the day that you've sort of adjusted to help your productivity? So anything that's come to mind that you can share with
Sure.
with our audience?
The most common thing that I find with my patients, and I learned it from myself, was that a couple of years back, I was just getting up with stiff back in the morning. I was like, oh, I'm too young to have this. I do lots of running, mountain biking, I do climbing, I do lots of exercise. Why am I waking up with this stiff back? And I was seeing that it was all about the posture, how I was sleeping, that was creating the stiffness. And then I was just Googling stuff around to see products and things like that. And I found this amazing pillow, and just having a support in between your knees with the specific pillow, it creates a balance within your spine. So I said to my patients, if you're sleeping on your back, then your spine is nice and relaxed. You're not going to have a problem. But as soon as you sleep on your side, you will twist your knees, and the knee's going to go up, and you're going to twist your back. So when your body's in it needs to be in a relaxed mode to be able to recover from your day's work. You need to be resting and recovering. Now, if you put your back into this stretch position, then you're going to wake up even more tired than you went down. So having a good sleep is part of recovery.
100%.
So I think having a pillow in between your knees makes a huge amount of difference in not having that stress.
That's interesting. So did you try lots of different versions of these pillows or?
Yeah, I've actually did. I bought a couple, and they're all kind of not really good until I found one, which is called, am I okay to say it?
You could say it.
I used a slumber pillow.
Okay.
And I was so amazed how in 1 week that my back just completely turned itself around, and it was so much better. And it's just make a huge difference. So I then went to talk to the manufacturer and says, look, you've got an amazing product. We need to make some kind of arrangement. And I love the product so much that I actually sell it in my own clinic because it's a prevention. I tell my patients, well, what would you prefer? Come and see me for 6-7 times or only see me 3? Because actually now, because you like sleeping on your side, you're not going to be aggravating your lower back, because you will have your back in a straight line recovery position without making any twists. Therefore, you're recovering the tissues and you're allowing to do the body what it needs to do. So you will wake up brighter because you won't feel like you have that stiffness into you. So I like to help my patients in any way I can. And that's like something that they can take home and help themselves. It's amazing.
No, that was a great testimonial. So, and it just goes to show that you're trying to do your best to serve the patient's needs rather than, just focusing on yourself. And that's why, I know you're very successful, but I think you're going to be even more successful having that sort of outlook in terms of that service you bring to the people that you work with. So, Dan, it's been really great to speak to you. Thank you for sharing your insights. We'll come back and talk to you about your exercise routine and your mountain biking and all the rest of it another time. But it's been really, really great. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. Good. Nice to see you.